Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is going to be a Flea Market Finds episode featuring picks from an outdoor flea market I went to on June 6th of this year, 2021. So let's dive right in. I don't think this is necessarily the first thing I bought that day, because I think I bought something else off this guy and his stuff was so cheap that when I saw these, I inquired about them and he asked me, well, what do you give me for them? And I said, how about $3? And he said, sure. So I got 3 pairs of welding gloves. These are El Cheapo brand. It's a 3-pack missing a pair. And then these are genuine Lincoln Electric ones. These look like they've got a little bit of use to them. Not too bad though, still usable. Anywho, I actually have enough of this style glove. I could use some more TIG gloves, but didn't want to pass these up for that cheap. Alright, let's get out of the way early. Those of you guys who know me know I have a weakness for classic CB radios, and I usually do not bother with mobiles unless they're really cheap and something special, and this is something special. When I first looked at, he had 2 or 3 radios, and when I first looked at the stack, I didn't see anything that caught my eye. Initially, I thought this was a 23-channel radio because of the knob, but then I noticed it was a sideband radio, and I was like, oh, okay, that already has my interest if it's got sideband in it. This is a Courier Spartan PLL 40-channel sideband mobile radio. This is from the 1970s, and I decided to take a chance on it. Somebody had a tag of $40 on here, so they must have had it out at a tag sale and were trying to get $40. Actually, I remember now, I ended up giving $5 for this radio. And after I bought it from the guy, I mentioned to him, I said, hey, it's kind of funny, somebody was trying to get $40 for this radio, and must have been at a tag sale or something. He says, actually, he said he had a co-op shop up in New Hampshire that he had stuff in, and he thinks that this might have been in the co-op shop, and that's why it had a tag on it. And I think that might be the case because if you look at this radio tag on the back here, it says CB radio. 83 was probably his booth number. So his dealer or booth number was probably 83. That's so people who are working in the antique co-op would know who to record the sale for if somebody bought it. It's got a price of $40. And then look over here, the XX5. So the funny thing about that is I'm wondering whether or not he's using the old trick of Roman numerals to denote 25, which might be his way of knowing what he paid for this thing. So he may have paid 25 for this and then was trying to make $15 on it. So I ended up paying $5 for this, and it's actually in really nice shape for the age. There's some light scratches in that, but nothing really horrible. And had the original microphone with it, which is a bonus. Okay, the original Courier microphone. The plastic part here was broken, so the wires were just hanging, and that's now completely ripped off. But this is a pretty standard 1/4-inch stereo phone plug. Alright, so that's easy enough. I don't even need this part actually. I just need the plastic part to screw on here, which I can find one. So the other thing it's got going for it is it has the plug, okay? Because if you have the radio and you just have this to deal with, you got to find one of these, right? It's got that, and it even has a jumper coax going to an old Archer branded antenna tuner, and then just a cut off piece of coax. Got a PL259 connector on here. So that's a heck of a deal for $5. I now checked on eBay, and the last 4 of these that sold, the cheapest one sold for $80, and it had no microphone. Although the seller did say it was operational, but it had no microphone. Then one sold for $95 or $90. Then one sold for $100, and another one sold for $150 because it was like in mint shape. But point is, this is a good collectible radio. If I end up powering this up and finding out that it's got receive and transmit and it's operational radio, I think it's gonna do well on eBay. If I could bring myself to part with it. I got all the goodies in this bag from the same dealer for $18 is what we settled on. So he had $3 a piece on these drill bits. So that's $12 for the drill bits. These snap ring pliers for 4, that's 16, and these snap ring pliers for 5, that's 19. So he only came down $1, but I was okay with that because I wanted these snap ring pliers because they're good old industrial quality U.S. made ones. This is Industrial Retaining Ring Company, Irvington, New Jersey. That's a mouthful, huh? So let me show you these beauties. So they're just a nice pair of snap ring pliers. I wish they had more comfortable ergonomic handles on them. And this just says Industrial Plier number 105. So what's cool about these are an internal snap ring plier that has this part right here that allows you to basically keep the snap ring compressed when you're guiding it into an inside groove. And then these are by the same company, Industrial Plier, Industrial Retaining Ring Company, Irvington, New Jersey. So these are going to be smaller ones, obviously. And these are 101s. And these are also internals, and they have really fine tips. Yeah, so there's not a hell of a lot of value here with these pliers. But, you know, they're not for resale anyways. I'm going to keep these in my toolbox, so I'm fine with paying $9 for those. And then this is the other thing I don't know why I bought these, because I've got so many extra drill bits now, but they're Morse taper small sizes, which I might not have as many of these. And they're brand new, and they're all good name brand, you know. So they're you know, these 3 here are all Cleveland's, and again, they're all brand new, old stock. And then this one, actually, this is also a Cleveland, just in a different style container. But you can see it's the same size, so we'll do all right with those. So this next item might be one of the coolest things I've come across and been able to purchase at the flea market in a while, and also might be one of the greatest deals. I came across this dealer who was just setting up. I was there kind of early, and they were just pulling stuff out of the back of a big box truck they had rented. And it clearly looked like they cleaned out the contents of a house, and they just wanted to get rid of the stuff. They had really good prices on a lot of stuff. They had a lot of clothing, kids' toys, and that. And then I saw this down on the ground in front of the table, and I took one look at it, and I was like, boy, just by looking at the look of the paint and everything, I was like, that's not a reproduction. That's actually pretty old. And it says American Eagle on the top here, and appears to be some sort of a slot machine or a gumball machine. There are marbles here to make it look like gumballs, and then it says ball gum right here. And I actually am going to do a separate video on this because I've already taken this apart and actually done some work to it, and I was not able to get it 100% operational, but it does kind of work. But what this is something called a trade stimulator. And the way it worked was back in like the 1940s, these would have been on the counter in a store, and you would go in, and this particular one takes a penny, some take a dime. You would put in your penny, and you'd pull the slot, and of course the tumblers would go around like a regular slot machine. And my understanding is the way it's supposed to work is if you lose, you would get a gumball. There's supposed to be a door right here, which I do have. I have this mechanism out because I need to replace a spring that broke. That's going to want to be one of the last little repairs I'm going to do on this before I resell it as is. Anyways, you would get a gumball if you lost. If you win, what you would get is inside the machine here, there would be a stack of tokens. And the tokens would have varying values to them. And so it basically tells you any of these good luck combinations receive a token. Good for, and then it says 5, 10, 15, 25, 50, or 100 free plays. Okay, so that's the funny thing about it, is they're basically saying, okay, so you're going to win. If you win, you get 5 more plays at this. So I guess that would be what, 5 gumballs maybe, or even more. I don't know. Or could it be, back in the day, maybe there was some unspoken nudge, nudge, wink, wink, that those plays or credits could be redeemed for credit in the store. Maybe it's a way to get around it being outright gambling. I don't know. I'm not sure exactly. But it's just a neat old thing. It's got a really cool look to it. It's got this neat old label on the top. Chart with the winnings. This was made by a company called Daval, I think is how you say it. Daval. The way I know that is that the little bar symbols that come up actually have the company name right in it. I was able to look these up on eBay, and even in this non-working condition that this is in, this is probably going to fetch easily, $50 to $100. So, as a matter of fact, I even saw somebody recently sold just this lever right here with the part that goes inside. Just this, they got like $30 or $40 for. So, this is going to be a great money maker for me, because I got this for $2. The guy basically, I asked him, what do you want for the thing? And he said, how about $2? I said, sold. So that is a screaming good deal. I'll just show you the side here. There's a little window right here, I think, to show a rejected coin. If a coin doesn't, trigger it, you can see whether or not it's a slug or a dime or something. This is where the tokens come out if you win a token. And then, of course, I ended up grinding the pins on this lock so I could just use any old key to open it, because when I got it, it was locked and somebody had bent open the thing. So now by doing it with this, I can open this with probably any key, but at least now it stays on there like it should. So, alright, let's on to the next item. So normally I never buy coins at the flea market, and the reason why is because if there are coin dealers there at the flea market, I'm not going to find anything that's going to be like a killer deal that's overlooked. I just don't have. Years ago I used to collect coins, and I used to be really into it. I used to study on, study about them, and learned a lot of stuff about them, and I have long since forgotten a lot of the details that would help me be a good coin hound. But what happened was the guy that I usually buy all kinds of old junk from, he was there, and I happened to see that he went in the truck and he pulled out some bags of 90% silver coinage and was selling it to a guy who apparently comes like every week and buys from him. So I didn't realize all this time that this guy's been sitting on these coins. So the funny thing is, he sells the guy the bags of coins, and then he mentions to him, he says, hey, he says, I got a Morgan silver dollar, but it's a Carson City. So he said, I got to get $50 for that. And the guy didn't even ask to see it. And he went on his way. So then I said to him, hey, you mind if I take a look at that Morgan dollar? Because what he didn't know was, and I ended up telling him, back when I was into collecting coins, I started out, I would collect any kind of old coins. And then I started to really focus on Morgan dollars. And then I really became enamored with one particular series in the Morgan dollar series, which is the Carson City minted coins. So Carson City Mint was located in Carson City, Nevada. It's no longer in existence, as opposed to some of the other mints that are still in existence today, like Philadelphia, for instance. The Carson City Mint minted many of the silver coins that were used in the Old West. I mean, we're talking cowboy era here. So this is kind of cool. So this is an 1878 Carson City silver dollar. It's known as the Morgan dollar because the designer for this coin, his name was Morgan. On the back side, at the bottom of the eagle, kind of hard to see, but there's a little CC down there, and that is what denotes that this is a Carson City silver dollar. So some of these Morgan dollars are worth a lot more than others. Of course, you've also got the condition to contend with. Well, the condition on this coin is not so great. However, because it's a Carson City, it might still have some decent value. I may have overpaid for this, or I may be able to still make money on this. The key would be probably to have it sent out and certified, where you have a professional coin grading service actually certify it, because based on what I'm seeing for past sales, the certified ones are bringing more money. But I'm not too worried about it. I think it's a cool old coin. I was willing to take a chance on it. This pile of stuff here I got all off of the same dealer. He must have cleaned out a house where there was an avid sportsman, a guy who did his own reloading and probably also did a little bit of gunsmithing, because there was this balance scale for gunpowder for measuring out when you're doing reloading of your own ammunition. This is a Dillon, purchased through Brownells. All of this stuff came out of Brownells catalog. This is a little set of almost like pin vices, but they're special. They're made for holding the little tiny screws for setting sights on shotguns. And then these three tools, this odd crimping tool right here, looks like vice grip's got special jaws on it. Has a little attachment to it. This is for setting these plunger tubes, which there's like 5, 6, or 7 of these in there. These are all from 1911 style pistols, so that would be like the 45 ACP Colts. This is a die for adjusting, bending part on the trigger. I'm not a gunsmith, so I couldn't tell you exactly what it's for. And then this is, I forget what this is for, but this is also a little jig that is supposed to be used in conjunction with a tension scale to set something. I think maybe trigger pull. And again, this is also from the Brownells catalog. So I got all of this stuff right here for 25 bucks, and I already have this stuff all sold. I think I got 20 for this. I know I got 45 for the powder scale. So I did well on that stuff. The guy who had all that gun stuff, I happened to notice amongst his tools he had this little cant twist clamp for only $1. So I snagged that for $1. Then I went to another dealer and he had some machinist tools, and I was looking through everything, and initially I just made a deal on these two pieces. Kind of broke the ice, so to speak. So I got this. This is a pretty good sized set of Minutoyo dial calipers. All right. These are 12-inch dial calipers. Seem to work pretty well. There's even some paperwork still in here. A little tool is missing. It usually goes in that pouch right there. Anyways, so I got those and this pair of sheared D'Amico calipers and what looks to be maybe the original plastic case. So these are kind of neat because they're sheared D'Amico. You don't see these as often. Engraved on the back with the owner's name. Anyways, I got both pairs of calipers for 25 bucks. So that's a heck of a steal. But that alone was a good deal on these. So then when I saw what a deal I got on these, I decided to look at his other calipers that I initially thought he was going to not really be willing to deal enough on to make it worth my while. And he had these 3 pairs of Helios calipers. Helios is a brand made in Germany, and they actually are a decent quality caliper. So these are a lot like the very first pair of calipers I ever had. They have a very flat face to them. These seem to be working perfectly fine. They're 6-inch. So they're kind of nice with the original leather scabbard. Next, this is another pair of dial calipers, pretty much the same thing as the other ones. These both say hardened throughout. And then in the snap case here is a little set of Helios vernier calipers. He's also engraved on the back. He took $20 for all three. Another great deal from the same guy. $20 for all three. Then again, same dealer. I don't really want any more of these surface gauges. I have too many of them as it is. But figured at the prices I was getting the stuff from him, I'd take a chance. This is a fairly large one. I'm pretty sure this is a Starrett. So I got this one with no post or anything. This one, which definitely is a Starrett, it's clearly marked on the post. It's actually in pretty good shape. And this Starrett 196 back plunge indicator, which is working perfectly. I got these three pieces for $10. I put together another pile. Initially, actually, he offered to sell me this for $1. It's a Brown and Sharp square, combination square for $1, which is a great deal. But then I ended up putting together some more stuff, and I ended up getting this really nice looking Starrett surface gauge. It's got a really neat finish to it. And that's nice because it's got the long rod and the snug on it, and this little Starrett micrometer, which actually works perfectly fine. This Federal indicator, which this dirty old Federal, I wouldn't put much value on it at all normally, except for the fact that it's a back plunge. You don't see as many of those. And it's working perfectly fine, so I don't have to do anything to it other than to just clean the lens. And this little Starrett gooseneck indicator tool or accessory, which in the original box, which this is a killer piece right here. Nice. That's a pricey little attachment, I bet. I thought that was kind of cool. So initially he wanted, I think, 30 for all of this, and he wanted 30 for these 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. He wanted 10 for this, 10 for this, and 5 each for this. 10, 20, 30. I ended up getting him to come down to either 20 or 25 and throw in the square. And then as that was pretty much everything from him. But then as I was walking away from buying all this stuff from him, I noticed on a blanket on the ground he had some boxes with just some junk in them. I happened to look in there real quick and spotted a couple tap wrenches. One was a piece of junk. The other one was this. Unfortunately, the rod was not in there with it. But this is a, I think it's a General. Yeah, this is a General tap wrench. And what's cool about this is one of these ratcheting tap wrenches. So the way this works is you've got this little knob on the top here. So that now is locked. Makes it like a regular tap wrench. Now it ratchets in one direction. You flip it all the way over to the other way. Ratchets the other way. So somebody can make themselves a little rod for that and go to town. Well, I just cleaned up the face on this Federal, and that's about as good as it gets. It's a really, really scratched up. I mean, a new face would do this thing wonders. I just don't know if I want to bother with it. Yeah, we'll see.